All right, y'all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You thought I wasn't gonna be here, but I'm here. Okay. Stop it. Y'all hear that? That's my phone going off. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to everyone that's here or going to be here. Good morning to you. I'll be right with you guys. I'm just getting some things set up. Yes. I see there's one person in the bushes that ain't ready to come out yet. Oh, there they go. Who was it? I should have known. Good morning, Reese Cup. How are you, sweetheart? And good morning to Auntie Pee Wee. Those are my day ones. Yes, yes. Good morning. Good morning, Melissa. How are you? Oh, you guys, you just made me smile. You did. You just made me smile. Oh, it's a beautiful day here, y'all. I'll talk about that a little bit once I come on and stuff. Um, wow. It seems like I've been gone for so long, but it's only been what? I think the last time y'all heard from me was Saturday. I'm not sure. But I'm back again. I'm back again. And hopefully today's topic will be interesting to some of you, mostly older, the older generation, meaning my generation, will have a little bit more appreciation for this topic than the younger generation may. With the exception of Prince Monte. Monte, he loves anything old school. So I am going to have a conversation with you guys today about the entertainment industry. I know a lot of people don't concern themselves with the entertainment industry and what that is. And I'm talking about the entertainment industry across the board. I know a lot of people don't, concern themselves with the entertainment industry. I don't know how many, well, I can't say that, but we'll get a little bit more into that. But it is partially my belief that a lot of people don't concern themselves with the entertainment industry simply because, we all have, we go through day-to-day lives. Very, very seldom do I believe that there are celebrities right now that may or may be in the bushes or watching the Mccree Kings. And if that be the case, then step forward, you know. But yeah, that's the conversation that we're going to have today. Well, I'm going to have with you guys. I'm going to share some stories with you guys about my experiences in the entertainment industry as a young man, and what made me decide to leave and all that stuff. Yeah, we're going to have that conversation, and it'll shock you because a lot of people will. Some people might think that, the reason why I decided to leave because I didn't make it. And that's not the case. But we're going to get started in just a moment. But you say Reese Cup, they definitely watch. Like I said, I would be very, very shocked to believe that there are celebrities that watch the Mccree Kings, not that watch people on YouTube, because I know there's entertainers that watch YouTube, but I would be very, very shocked to believe that there are entertainers out there that are watching Mccree Kings. But, that goes back to a live that someone did a couple of days ago. Which I will get into at the end of the show because I got some shade, honey, that I want to throw at the person that made that live. Because I'm gonna wait until after the show. I'm gonna wait until the end of the show to share that with y'all. And I ain't gonna say no names, but they know who they are in the bushes. Okay. But anyway, let's proceed and get on with the show. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Y'all ready for me? Like I'm ready for y'all. Here I go. Y'all like that picture up there? Y'all like that? That was us. That was us when we first started out. Oh my God. That's been what, 2 years ago? Actually, three. It's actually been 3 years because Mccree Kings began way before YouTube. But that was us. That was us. About 3 years ago when we first started out, you know, and made a decision that we wanted to bring a message to the masses and we wanted to entertain. Um, Both Joseph and I, we have talents, you know. Joseph is a great singer. I have been told that I am a great singer. I have recorded professionally. Joseph has not, but Joseph just has this personality. He just has this presence on camera that just breathes entertainment, you know. Like even with that, with those that picture right there, Joseph directed all that. I mean, we did a whole photo shoot, and what I'll do is I'll ask Joseph to go back into our archives and post some of those pictures to the community wall so you guys can see. Joseph directed that whole photo shoot for him and I. I mean, all the photo and most of the photos that we take together, that's Joseph's doing. You know, he has this talent for, you know, the visual. You know, he does this visual thing. You know, and so he did all that. Where me, I'm more of the production guy. You know, and I'm what they call I am a electronic junkie. When I tell you I'm electronic junkie, um, I like little gadgets. You know, I love little gadgets. My friends used to call me Inspector Gadget because I like little gadgets. Anything that got little buttons on it and stuff. I like stuff like that. You know. Y'all, I'm gonna kill Jamel. Jamel is just a sock demon, honey. He likes to steal socks, and suck on them. I don't understand what that is. He like to steal them and suck on 'em. He'll sit there and he'll suck on a sock all damn day. I don't understand. Y'all tell me. What? Anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about. But yes, on the other hand, like I said, I have a different. I bring something different to the table. I am more of a, like I said, I'm an electronic junkie. I've always been since I was a little kid. Even when I was a little kid, my father and mother would get me toys and stuff. They had little buttons and stuff on. And so that's how I began to play. I went to, my mom took me to a doctor's house. My mom was a nurse. And she took me to this doctor's house, one of her friends, her colleagues, and he had a piano. And I found it to be so very, very interesting. And he just said, I started, playing it, like hitting the notes and stuff like that. You know how children go into houses and they see a piano and they just start banging on it. That's what I was doing. And so my mother was telling me, Jamel, stop, leave that alone. Right. And so, but I was just so, and my mother was like, my mother did not play, honey. My mother was one of the mothers, honey. If she looked at you like this, you knew to stop. But I didn't pay no attention to that. I was really, really intrigued by this instrument. And so, even as a kid, my mom, I was like, after we left there, I was like, Mommy, I want a piano. I couldn't even say the word, y'all. I said, I want a piano. I was about 6 years old. And my mother was like, boy, hush, you don't even know what a damn piano is. And so, you know, but then my mom introduced me to church. And I started going to church. And little did I know that my cousin was the organist at this church. And so after church, she would allow me to play with the organ. She would just let me go over there and just play with it. And then all of a sudden, I would, because she allowed me to play with it every Sunday, I would watch her. I would watch her play. I would watch her move her feet and stuff. I noticed that she used to take off her shoes. And anybody that's been to a black church, y'all know when the organists take off their shoes, that means they playing the organ, honey. Okay, when they be hitting on them keys, and a lot of people don't know the keys that are on the floor. Those little pieces of wood that you see, that's the lower bass. That's the bass. That's like the bass. Boom, 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 boom. And that's how they play. They have to play. Playing the organ is not an easy thing. It's just not. You have to be coordinated. And so I couldn't even reach the pedals on the bottom. I couldn't even reach, and let alone reach the big pedal that would do the crescendos and the decrescendos and make the notes higher and lower and so on. I couldn't even reach that. But I had watched my cousin play, and that's how I learned. Then a little bit later on, and now I've never taken a lesson. I've never taken a piano lesson in my whole entire life, ever. Then throughout, as I learned how to play the Hammond B organ, I started playing the piano because my music teacher in school, he played the piano when we came to music class. And so I started, mimicking him. As I play by ear. If you play me a song, give me about 5-10 minutes, and I'm gonna play that song. That's how I play by ear. I have to hear it. Although I know how to read music, I don't really read music, simply because of habit. I learned how to play by ear. If you've ever seen that show, if you've ever seen that movie Drumline, the part that Nick Cannon played, he played by ear. They would play a beat for him, and then he would just come right back along and behind him and play it, because he knew he would look at the whoever the drummer was playing. He would look at the movements that their drummer would make, and he would pick them up like that, just like by memory. That's how I learned how to play. Well, I actually taught myself. I never really, excuse me, I never really asked anybody to teach me how to play. I just played. My mama, let me tell you, the first time my mama saw me play the organ, she was in shock. She was like, and she didn't learn of this until I was about 10 years old. I had been playing for like maybe 4 years before she, because I used to tell her, I would tell my mother I was playing the organ in church. She'd be like, boy, oh hush. Because I was a little liar child. I used to lie all the time. Or I would embellish. I put it like that. I would say things to my mother, and she would just pay me no mind. So for 4 years, I was telling my mama, I'm going, I got to play the organ this afternoon at church. She'd be like, oh boy, please, you ain't going to play no organ. And I would invite her to come, but she would never come. She'd be like, I ain't coming to Jamel, you lying. Stop lying, boy. You don't know how to play no organ. Yes, I do, mommy. I'm telling you, I know how to play. And every year for Christmas, I would ask for a piano. My mother and father, they would pay me no mind. They pay me no mind. And so, I would, that's how I learned. That's how music really came into my life, aside from my dad. My dad was a member of a very popular group at the time called Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Yes. Now he was a member of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes before Teddy Pendergrass. Teddy Pendergrass was not a member of the Blue Notes when my dad was a member. But my dad was a great singer and he was a great guitarist. He used to play guitar. And so, I grew up like with music around me everywhere. You know, I did. I grew up with music around me everywhere. Um, my mother and father were those parents that would go to the record stores on Saturdays and buy records for us kids to listen to, especially me and my sister, because me and my sister, aside from me playing the organ and stuff like that, we were great dancers. Like I was a good dancer. I can still dance, child. Believe it or not, I can still dance. But I'm 53 years old now, child. I just don't. I'm not trying to break no bones, and I only got one boogie left in me. And I thought I was gonna get it out on my anniversary, but we ended up just having drinks and dinner. I thought we was gonna go to the club, child. I want to go to the club, honey, and dance. I do. I really do. So any of you subscribers, if you're ever in New York and you think you want to go to the club, just call me in advance. Send me an email. Say, I'm being New York, and we're gonna go out on the town. We're gonna go to the club, and I'll be right there along with you for maybe a dance or two. We're gonna stay the whole night because it just ain't in me. The Lord just took all that away from me and put me in this whole nother body where I can go to the club and have one drink, 2 drinks, and then I'll be ready to go home and get in the bed. I'll be home before 10. That's the body the Lord done gave me now. I can't do all the stuff I used to do. I used to get ready. I used to be getting up and getting ready to go to the club at midnight. Not no more. Oh no, you won't catch me in no club at no midnight, child. At midnight, honey, I'm home watching Law and Order. But yes, we like my mother and father were those parents that went to the record stores on Saturdays and bought records. And my father, my father used to buy music all the time. My father was like, because he was a musician, so he would buy music all the time. My father played with people like Johnny Taylor and ZZ Hill, people like that. And so I grew up listening to a lot of Johnny Taylor and ZZ Hill and Bobby Bland and the Temptations and the Four Tops and Smokey Robinson, the OJs. Ooh, the list goes on and on, And this is where the appreciation comes in. Guys, listen, I know that there are a lot of people out there that ain't as old as me, but I know there are some people out there that are as old as I am, or if not older. So they will have appreciation for what I'm talking about when I'm talking about those days. Now, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm OG. You could say, oh, well, Jamel, you don't look like you're 53, or Jamel, you don't look that old, or whatever. I'm old, child. I'm ancient Chinese secret. Okay? I'm older. I don't mind being called old. See, because my elderness, is that a word? Joseph, is elderness a word? Elderness. Elder, okay, my eldery. I don't even downright saying that shit. I embrace my elder. I do, I really do, because I have history behind me. Let me tell you something. I have some good history behind me where there are people that are older than me. They have history. I have history behind me. Listen, I was born December 15th, 1967. 4 months after I was 4 months old when Martin Luther King died. And he died in 1968. Okay, April 4th. April 4th, April 2nd of 1968, Martin Luther King died. I was 4 months old. Okay, this is when the turn of the century. This was at the turn of the century, really. It was at the end. It was the end of a century of segregation, racism. It was basically racism part 2 or 3. It was the war, the Vietnam War. Was it a Vietnam War? It was the war. It was a lot of things going on. So it was at the turn of the century that I was born. Um, and so I really consider myself more of a 70s child. You know, I'm a 70s child. Huh? I'm seasoned. Child, I'm more than seasoned, honey. This is more than Laurie, honey. This is more than Laurie's seasoned salt, child. I'm more than that, child. I'm old. Old in the sense of, in the not in every sense of the word am I old. When I say that, you know, a lot of these young children these days, now 53 ain't old. That's not old. 53 is the new 33. No, it's the new 43. 53 is the new 43. You just take 10 years off. So I'm really, y'all, in the grand scheme of things, I'm really not that old. You know, back in my day, when you saw a 53-year-old man, you saw an old man that was hunched over with gray hair and no teeth. Well, I ain't got no teeth. With no teeth, with a whole bag of pills, can on child, eating mush. That's what a 53-year-old man looked like to me when I was a kid. These days, you got 53-year-old men, honey, that look like Zeus. Okay? So don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. We have evolved. We have evolved. But like I said, I embrace my age simply because of the history, my history. And it's more so my musical history than anything. Yes, I experienced the racism. Yes, I experienced the colorism. Yes, I experienced a lot of things that a lot of Black people experienced back then. But my music culture is what I embrace the most. I was a 70s child, and some of the best music came out in the 70s. For those of you that don't know or weren't there, some of the best music in the world ever came out in the 70s. You had Aretha Franklin, you had Diana Ross that had just came up on the scene, you had Smokey Robinson. A lot of these artists that performed in the 60s, some of them that were in groups went solo. Some of the groups stayed together. Like you had the Temptations. The Temptations was one of the biggest groups in the 70s there ever was. And then you had a lot of, like, you know how they talk about female groups and stuff like that. There were more male groups back then than there are female groups, than there were female groups. Of course, in the 80s is when the dawn of female groups came along, in the 80s and the 90s, where you had Destiny's Child and you had 702 and all these other powerful female groups and stuff like that. But back in my day in the 70s, child, that's what the music was, honey. They made music. I'm talking about, when I talk about music, I'm not talking about these little electronic boards and all this stuff and all this flashing lights and stuff like that. That wasn't music. They had real musicians in the studio playing music, like saxophones and trumpets and trombones and drums, and all that music was right there in the room. Today, you don't need that. Today, they don't need that. Today, all you have to do is sit down at a keyboard, at a piano, and program whatever sound you want in there. You got to just program it in there and play it, and that's it. It's like a manipulation of whatever that original sound was. Like if you want to play a saxophone on a keyboard, you just find a sound that sounds like a saxophone and you manipulate it. If you're that talented of an artist, you can do that. So back in my day, music was music. When I say music was music, it was music all across the board, where, you had real live musicians, not only in the studio, but performing on stage. You had singers, and you could not be a singer and then get on stage and can't sing, because you have those artists too these days. You got artists now, they be in the studio, honey. All they got to do is add a little auto tune it up, and they can sing. Anybody can sing. You can sing, honey. If you ain't no singer, you can sing with auto tune. So we didn't have all that. No, we didn't have all that back then. Hi Terry, how are you? Really, Auntie Pee Wee. Wow. Yes, that's one of the reasons why I love live performances as well, Reese Cup. I love who said that? Reese Cup. Yeah, I love live performances simply. And see, a lot of people listen to music for different things. I listen to music when I listen to music, when other people listen to music, they listen to the beat. Boom. So they can do this. Hey, you know, I listen to music for a totally different reason. Music sounds different to me than it would to you, the average listener, the one that goes to the store and buys a record. See, when y'all listen to music, that's all y'all hear. Y'all hear the thump of the beat and y'all hear whatever lyrics the person said. Listen, when I listen to music, I hear the horns, I hear the violins, I hear that. I break it down like that, y'all. I do. I break it down like that. Um, and um, that's just the way I am. And like I said, me coming up in the '70s, that was some of the best music, like Stevie Wonder. Y'all can't imagine what it was like, and then y'all can't even imagine what it was like. See, because we didn't see black people on TV, and when we did, we saw mostly artists. We didn't have shows and stuff like that on TV words until like 75, 70, well, 70, 74, 75. We really started seeing a lot of black shows on TV like Good Times and the Jeffersons and stuff like that. Before that, we didn't see no black people except for when we saw them performing on TV, like they would perform on the on the Ed Skelton show. The Ed Sullivan show, or the Tonight Show. We would see them, and it was like a special treat, child. We pick up the phone and call everybody, child. It's black people on TV. It's black people on TV, y'all. Diana Ross and Supreme, and then they would have like commercials and stuff like that. I remember when Shaka Khan. I remember when Shaka Khan did "I'm Every Woman" on TV, and she did a little video, where it was like, I think it was like 7 or 8 of her dressed in different outfits. I thought Shaka Khan was like 10 people. I thought Shaka Khan was a group, and she wasn't. She was Don't that sound crazy? But that's what I thought. Mhm. Oh, excuse me. Y'all have to excuse me sometime when y'all hear me cough. I have GERD. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like the backwards flow of anything that you swallow. A little bit of it goes into your lungs and it makes you cough. So that's what I have. I have GERD. That's what they call it in the medical industry. So if you hear me go off on a tangent and cough, that's why I'm coughing, child. I got GERD. Sometimes I choke. Well, not so much choke, but sometimes, something gets stuck in my lungs and I have to cough it. I have to cough. But anyway, yeah, I thought Shaka Khan was back. I thought she was a group, and she wasn't. She was one lady, and so those were groundbreaking times that I can remember. Child, I can remember, child, my mama I never forget. Every Saturday morning, my mother would go to the store and she would get an Ultra Sheen blowout kit and blow my hair out. Now I have y'all see I ain't got no hair now. Probably because my mama pulled half of it out when I was a child. Because my mother would go to the store and she would get an Ultra Sheen blowout kit and she would blow my hair out. Like back then, afros was in, and the bigger the afro, the better. And I had an afro, child, that was about right out here like this. I used to come down the street, you see my afro coming before you saw me. And so I never forget, every Saturday, never fail. My mother would blow my hair out. And we would watch Soul Train. And so, like I told you, in my house, music was a big thing and dancing was a big thing. So my mama when they did the Soul Train line, me and my sister would let me move this pillow because it's getting on my nerve. When they did the Soul Train line, Me and my sister would get up and we would do the Soul Train line. My mother would make us dance and stuff. And my mother would be like, do the robot, Jamel. And I would do the robot. Shut up, Joseph. Anyway, because I know he could laugh. Listen, my mother would make us do, she would make us dance. And so we would dance. And then when company would come over, child, my mother, I'd get money. I get money. My mother would give me, I give you $1. Now, $1, oh, child, if you had $1, you was rich. Like $1, you could buy a whole lot of stuff with $1 back in my day, back in the 70s. Shoot, if you had a quarter, you could buy candy for you and all your friends, okay, with a quarter. So, my mom would blow my hair out and we would dance and we would sing. And then my mother, I remember the first time my mother heard me sing, she was like, and I sounded, she said, oh my God, you sound just like Michael Jackson. I had a little teeny voice, y'all, like Michael Jackson. So I would sing songs like I'll Be There and, ABC and stuff like that. I would sing a lot of Michael Jackson songs. And then I never put it together, but my mother, later on in life told me the reason why she would blow my hair out was because she thought she wanted me to look like Michael Jackson. And y'all, Michael Jackson didn't look like he looked before he died, child. He didn't have that, like Michael Jackson didn't have that nose and all the plastic surgery when he was a kid, like a little kid. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, that's just a little insight to what my world was like growing up. Like music was all around me. So because it was all around me, I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a singer. I did. That was like one of my biggest aspirations. I really wanted to be a singer, but I was very, 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 very shy. I was a very shy kid. For several reasons, because number one, kids would tease me and tell me that I was ugly, and so I believed them. I did. I believed them. They would call me names. They would tell me I was ugly, and they would say I was black and ugly, and so I believed kids. So I was very shy. I was a very shy kid. I knew that I had talent. Like I would go to school and teachers would hear me sing, and they would be blown away. They would be blown away. And they would make me sing for assemblies and stuff like that. And I would sing and that would be it, there would be some kids that would pat me on the back and say, oh, Jamel, you sounded good, da 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 da. But that was it. But they would always go back to, the name calling. Kids always, I don't care. I like, y'all just don't understand how tumultuous my childhood was growing up. As much love as I had for music, that was my only escape from the real world. And the real world was, what I had to deal with colorism, and I had to deal with the people around me calling me names, saying horrible things to me, and these were my own people. These were people that were black, And so music was my escape. It really was. It was my escape. I could sit in my room all day and listen to music, but my mom wouldn't let me. My mom and dad wouldn't. Well, my mom wouldn't let me. My dad, he was never really home. He was a police officer, so he was never really home. But my mom, she wouldn't let me stay in the house. She always made me go on outside. Don't come home into the street lights. Come on, I'll go outside. So I never really had an opportunity to practice my craft, which was playing the organ and playing the piano. And I didn't have one at home because my mother and them, they didn't believe that I knew how to play. They never really believed that I had a talent for these things. And so I didn't have a piano in my house. And so only time I got to play was on Sundays when I went to church. And my mother used to be like, why you? Because I would get up, child. Sometime on Sunday mornings, I get up at like 5 a.m. in the morning, honey, and make my breakfast. Excuse me. And I would be the first one in church. I would be sitting on the church steps, child. And the pastor would be like, Jamel, what are you doing here so early? Well, I came to play. That was the only time I could play, you know. And other than that, I had a record player in my room, and so I would listen to records. That was really it, you know. Um, but I wanted to be an artist. As bad as I wanted to be an artist, I was too shy. I was so shy, y'all. Y'all just don't understand. I was people would ask me to sing, and I would be like, no. Even today, people ask me, sing something, Jamel, sing something. Mm-mm. No. And I'd be adamant about no, I'm no. I met a young lady up here about a month ago, and I told her, you know, that I worked in the music industry, and I told her a group that I worked with, a very popular group, and she was like, "Sing something." I was like, "Oh, baby, I don't sing no more," and I don't. I don't. I sing around the house, yeah, 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 around the house. That's it. Stop it. Gosh, y'all, this thing is getting on my nerve. I'm ready to throw this shit out the window. This diabetes thing, but it does keep my diabetes managed. But anyway, um, even now, I'm very shy. I don't sing. Don't ask me to sing because you're gonna be mad at me. I've had many people turn away from me and be mad at me. I've had many people just try to grind on me. You make me sick. And they would try to like aggravate me to the point where I would be like, okay, I'll sing. You ain't gonna get me like that. You ain't get me like I don't sing. I don't sing. I sing around the house, in the shower, maybe outside when the lawnmower is running. And I still have a nice voice, don't I, Joseph? I do. I have a nice voice. But you, Trisha, you ain't get me. You ain't gonna get me like that. Y'all tried to get us like that a couple of months ago. Y'all wanted me and Joseph to be singing on camera. I don't sing. I don't. So don't ask because you're gonna be real mad. You're gonna start hating Jamel because he don't sing. I might sing in church. That's the only time you get me to sing. The only time you might get me to sing is in church. Joseph won't even sing in church. Joseph was on the choir. I gotta tell y'all about that one. Joseph was on the choir and would not sing. He was lip syncing. I said, Joseph. I said, are you back there lip syncing? He said, yes. I said, well, why? He said, because I don't like the song and I don't feel like singing. I don't want to be on this damn choir no how. I said, okay. But no, Trisha, I don't sing, sweetheart. I don't care. You can. The only way you get me to sing, honey, is if you give me $100 million. If you threw $100 million in front of my face and said, Jamel, if you sing 4 bars, I'll give you this $100 million. Child, I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna sound just like Beyonce, just like her. Okay, I'm gonna sound just like her. I'm gonna sound like Jennifer Hudson for $100 million. Hell yeah. Like y'all, like I told y'all, I sing around the house. One of my favorite songs to sing is Session 32 by Summer Walker. Don't y'all know? I gotta tell y'all this story. I'm going off on a tangent, but I gotta tell y'all this story. I was in the car. I had got up one morning and I decided that I was gonna go and get me and Joseph some coffee, right? So I was going to Dunkin' Donuts. Oh, excuse me. I was going to Dunkin' Donuts. And so I was playing Session 32. I don't know if y'all know what Session 32 is. Session 32 is a live performance that Summer Walker did with Usher. The name of the song is called Come Through. They did it at the BET Awards. Right, so I'm in line, and the line is like real long to get coffee. I'm in the drive-through, and so the line was like real long. So I decided I was gonna put on Session 32, and I'm in the car, and I got the windows down, and I'm singing like Summer Walker's part, you know, and so it's time for me to place my order. So I turn the music down and I place my order, and I'm just singing like after the after I place my order, I'm just a singing child, and there's this car in front of me. Well, I get all the way up to the drive-through to pay for my order and get my coffee and stuff. Ooh, I got the hiccups. And so the Cashier said to me, she says, "Excuse me, sir, you don't have to pay anything for your order." She says, "Because the person that was in front of you, they liked your singing so much that they paid for your order." I was like, "Oh my God, somebody," and I was embarrassed because somebody had heard me sing. She had heard me sing. I was like, "Oh, I sound that good. I sound that good. Maybe I ought to." No. But anyway, yeah. Uh, that's just one of the stories I could pull out my pocket. That's one of the most recent stories. Now, y'all want to know how I really broke into the music industry? Y'all stop asking me the same job because it ain't gonna happen. Yeah, and Joseph think he can sing better than me. He can't sing better than me, y'all. So I don't know. Yeah. Joseph think he can sing better than me because he got, Joseph sings in a high register. He got a little teeny, little punk ass voice. But he can't sing like me. He can't sing like me. He can sing, but I can sing, honey. But anyway, what's that? Yes, so that's one of my stories I put. Yeah, y'all really want to know how I really, really broke into the music industry? Well, first of all, like I said, throughout my teenage years and throughout my younger years, I would sing at church, and everybody used to call me Little Michael, Little Michael. They used to call me Little Young Michael. Everybody said I sound like Michael Jackson. But how I really broke into the music industry is so ironic, and it's so just random. Just like I remember I was living in Patterson, New Jersey. Shout out to Patterson, home of Eastside High School, where I went to school at. Shout out to the Eastside Ghosts. And I was downtown Patterson, and there was this record store that I used to go to all the time. And at that time, I was really a fan of a artist named Will Downing. He kind of sounds like Luther Vandross, but his voice, he's more of a baritone, where Luther Vandross is more of a tenor, a first tenor. And I was really, I used to go to this record store to buy Will Downing albums all the time. And there was this advertisement on the window, and it said that they were looking for a artist. They were looking for a singer to sing this song that they had written. And as funny as it should be, um, my friend that was with me, his name was Patrick at the time. He actually picked up the advertisement and he called the number because he said he was interested in, singing the song for the person. Now, y'all tell y'all right now, Patrick could not sing. It was all in his head. It was all in his head. There's an artist on here, y'all. I want y'all to go and watch her. Her name is Mccree Story. She calls herself Christina DeLucci too. She goes by Christina DeLucci, and her name is Mccree. She goes by Mccree Story. She's here on YouTube. I want y'all to go and watch her because she reminds me of my friend Patrick. She's one of those people that really like Mccree Story think that she can sing. Like she really, and she has thousands of followers, and her videos get thousands of views. And I think that she thinks that they get views because because people think she can sing. But in reality, she gets views because people are just like amazed, like this bitch really thinks she can sing. They be laughing at her. But anyway, oh, excuse me, guys. My nose is wrong. Oh. But she reminds me of my friend Patrick. My friend Patrick, you couldn't tell him he couldn't sing. You could not tell him that he did not have a voice. Okay, he was very that. And so when he took it, I was like, okay. And see, I would just like want to go along for the ride to see what was going on, And so this man, his name was Joey Malzone, whom I'm suing now. Joey Malzone was a white guy. He was a big, heavy-set white guy. His name was Joey Malzone, but he was very talented in the studio. He had a whole studio. Like he had a studio. Well, he didn't have a studio. Him and his partners, they had a studio, and they were looking for somebody to sing this song that Joey had written called "Take Time to Tell Me." And so we so Patrick called this guy, called Joey, and they set up a meeting to meet and stuff like that. And Joey invited us to wherever he was, and we got there. And I was in a paradise. I had never been in a recording studio in my whole entire life. I was about 24 at the time. Yeah, I was about 24. Never been in a recording studio before my whole entire life. And so when I got there, I mean, I saw this board and I saw all these things like just shine, it was like shiny, pretty, and I saw all this stuff and I was amazed by it. And so Patrick got in the booth and he was singing the song and I was like, this, Charlie. Because I was embarrassed for him. I was embarrassed for him. And then Joey, the other guy, was like trying not to tell him. He was trying to tell him, but he was trying not to tell him in a nice way. Bro, you ain't got it. You ain't got it. So, I don't know what it was because I really wasn't interested in the song because it was a dance song. It was like one of them songs that you go, it was white people music, y'all. It was white people music. It was white people music. It was like dance music. They have house music, and then they have this music they call dance music. Like they call it dance music. They that boom, 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 boom. Y'all know that music. Y'all hear raves and shit. That's what it was. And I really didn't care too much for the song. So I don't know what it was in my spirit, but something in my spirit just came out, just blurred out. I said, I can sing the song. I said it just like that. I said, I can sing the song. And so Joey was like, you're a singer too? I said, yes, I can sing. I said, no, I said, yeah, I sing. And he was like, oh, well, won't you go back there? Won't you go in the booth and sing it? And when I went in there, Patrick looked at me. Patrick looked at me with the meanest look, like, bitch, when we get out of here, I'm going. He looked at me like he was ready to stab me, honey. So I got in the booth and I sang the song and stuff like that. And after the music stopped playing, Joey was like this. I mean, his mouth was on the floor, like gagging. Gag Nation had set in, honey. He just could not believe what he had just heard. And that's what a lot of people, that's the reaction I get from a lot of people when I sing, because they like, I didn't know you could sing. I knew you could sing, but I didn't know you could sing like that. And so he was like, oh my God. Oh my God. He said, have you ever thought about singing any Luther Vandross songs? I was like, I sing that all the time. That's who I learned from. Luther Vandross was one of my biggest, I was one of his biggest fans. I used to love Luther Vandross, and so I would sing his songs, and I knew all his riffs and all that stuff. Like right now, if y'all ask me to sing, no, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. But anyway, if I were to sing a Luther Vandross song, you would be like, oh my God, it sounds like the record. That's how good I am. And I'm not blowing my own horn. I'm not, because I don't share my music with anyone. I don't. Do I, Joseph? I don't sing for nobody. I don't. I won't sing to nobody. I'm just shy like that, y'all. I'm very shy. And so that's how I got into the music industry. Now, this particular song, Joey wanted me to sing this song. I was like, Joey, I'm not singing that song. He was like, Jamel, you gotta sing this song. And I was like, I'm not singing that song. Because I didn't like dance music. I was a house music. I used to love house music. So he was like, Jamel, you please, I mean, he begged me. He was, ooh, dude, ooh, is my eyes crossed? Anyway, he begged me to sing this song. And I was like, well, if I'm going to sing this song, it's going to have to be some changes. Okay. I said it's going to have to be some changes. And so he was like, well, what kind of changes do you want to make? I said, I'm going to have to rewrite this whole song. So I rewrote it. I took all his lyrics and I just trashed them. And I rewrote the song. I said, you get the music credits, I'll get the writer's credits. So I ended up rewriting this song, and then him and Brent, who was his partner, Brent Decker, they ended up writing another song that they wanted me to sing. Have y'all ever heard that song, Robin S., Show Me Love? Well, I did a song called Taking My Love to You, and it's similar. The original version of it is similar to Show Me Love. Actually, it really did good in the clubs back in the day. And so, Joey was like, Jamel, I think you're ready I think you're ready to be put out there. And, there was a hindrance. I said, well, there was something missing off of this song. And one of the things that was missing, excuse me. Pardon me. One of the things that was missing off this song, there was a voice missing, and that was my friend David. My friend David Anderson. When I tell you his voice was like, I can't even describe it. He wasn't a voice, he was a force. He had now my voice was nice, but his was, oh my God, David could sing. Like he could sing. And so we added David, and then somebody came with the crazy idea to present us to the record labels as a group. And one of the members of the group was Patrick. Now I told y'all Patrick couldn't sing. The only people that could sing in the group was me and David. That was it. We was the only two that could sing, right? And I'm telling y'all this because it's gonna have significance to it after I finish my story. But so little did we know at the time that Joey Malzone had connection to one of the biggest producers in the world. In the world. Did y'all hear me when I said that? In the world. His name was Jelly Bean Benitez. Go Google him and you will see the work that he's done. Jelly Bean Benitez discovered, I'm telling y'all, just one person he discovered. He discovered Madonna. Okay? He discovered Madonna. We gonna leave it right there. We're gonna drop the mic right there. So we were introduced to Jelly Bean Benitez as a group. The name of the group was called Taste. I don't know who came up with that name. I did not like it. It sounded gay. And it sounded feminine. I didn't like it. But that was the name that they gave us. It was Taste. Taiste. Matter of fact, you could hear some of my records here on YouTube if you go in the search and put in Taiste. Taste. And so we were introduced to Jelly Bean Benitez as a group Taste. And Jelly Bean Benitez liked our music so much that he decided to sign us to a label. Now here's where everything that this is everything that you better know about the music industry. Because I'm getting ready to tell you all the mistakes that we made. All of them. So we were just so head in the clouds. Our heads were just so in the clouds at the time about being artists. We thought we was gonna be like this, the newest musical sensation. You couldn't tell us. You couldn't tell us that we wasn't gonna be the newest musical sensation. Child, you couldn't tell us. We was gonna be the new Jackson 5 as far as we was concerned. And to be honest, we had the talent. We had the talent to take it there. We really had the talent with the exception of Patrick. Well, we could have. Patrick was like Ronnie from he's like Ronnie and Mike Bivens from What's that group? New Edition. You know, Ronnie and Mike Bivins, they can't sing. But Ricky and Ricky Bell and Ralph Tresvant and Bobby Brown, they could sing. You know, but Patrick was like that. After a while, we kind of like, you know, when we would perform, we would do things like turn Patrick's mic completely off. We never really realized it. You know, things like that. So Jelly Bean Benitez signed us to a deal, and I didn't care. I didn't care what it was. I didn't care what the contract said. I didn't care. All I knew is I was gonna be a superstar. I was gonna be a superstar. Quit my job, the whole 9 yards. I'm gonna be a superstar. Bad idea. Bad idea. First of all, for those of you that have inspirations on being a musician or artist, please don't do that. Don't quit your day job. Don't quit your day job, because I'll tell you, just like somebody told me, there's somebody out there that can sing better than you, that can dance better than you, that can perform better than you. Don't ever don't quit your day job until you got money in hand. I ain't had no damn money. I had a good job though. I had a good job at the time with benefits and the whole nine. I just quit. I just walked off the job and said I quit. I told my boss to kiss my ass. I told my boss, kiss my ass. I'm going to be a star. Sure did. UPS, shout out to UPS. That's where I was working at the time. I was working at UPS. Told my boss to kiss my ass and told him I was going to be a star. Child, that did not happen. It did not happen at all. Did not happen. When the money came in, Joey disappeared and Brent disappeared. The only person that we really had was Jelly Bean Benitez in our corner, and he was so busy at the time. So many different things had happened to him. Like, he really, like I said, David and I, we had the talent that we could either be solo artists or we could have been a duo, and we would have been probably people y'all would have been talking about today. That's how much talent that we had at that time. And so, like I said, when the money came in, we ain't see Joey, we ain't see Brent, no nothing. We ain't see no, and mind you, we had 2 records out that were #1 on the Billboard charts in the UK. At the time, we were touring and performing and stuff all over Europe, like doing it, y'all, like doing it. And we was making a little bit of coin. It was a little bit of money. It wasn't that much money. It wasn't enough. It wasn't significant enough. It wasn't enough for me to buy a house for my mama. It wasn't significant enough for me to pay my rent. You know. So that's industry rule #1 of 101. Get you a lawyer. If somebody signs you to a contract, get you a lawyer and have your lawyer, have an entertainment lawyer read over the contract step by step. I don't care word by word. If it takes word by word, then for you to understand it, have an understanding of the contract that you're about to sign, because you never know. You signed the way of your whole entire life. Now, in this contract that I signed, I was not allowed to perform for anybody else except for Jelly Bean Benitez. That's the only person. Solo, group, whatever. I was not allowed to take another deal for 5 years. I wasn't allowed to take another deal. Wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to write for anybody. It was exclusive to him. And so for 5 years, I had to sit, because the relationship between himself and my managers and my producers was so strained, to the point where Jelly Bean Benitez was like, you know what? Fuck y'all. I'm going to take all y'all music and put it on the shelf, and that's it. Because he was going to make money regardless. He was going to make money regardless. So 5 years later, he had the genius idea, Mr. Jelly Bean Benitez had the genius idea to make 2 compilation albums, because Jelly Bean Benitez, anybody that knows him knows that he's very popular. He started out as a DJ. So he started out as a DJ. Because he started out as a DJ, he was able to put out compilation albums. Now, if y'all don't know what a compilation album is, have y'all ever seen those commercials where they say um, R&B's top 21 hits? And they got all these different varieties of different artists on there singing these songs and stuff like that. That's a compilation. That's a compilation album. Okay. So for 5 years we sat. Well, I didn't sit because I found ways around writing because I was a good writer. So I would write for different artists at the time, and they would pay me, you know. But I would write under a different name. And I probably penned some songs that you guys, or help pen some songs that you guys have probably heard before as a ghostwriter. Also, I have done a lot of reference work for those artists of you. For those of you that are artists, and y'all know what I'm talking about. Reference work was, I would say, let's say, you know, Beyonce's song, Ring the Alarm. I was the one that would sing it so that she could hear it and she could do her own version of it. There's always two versions of a song. There's a reference version and then there's the actual song. So the reference version is sung by some random artist, you know, and it's not really too much put in. It's like to give it an idea. It's like a rough draft, you know. So I did a lot of reference work. And I got paid doing that. And then I got paid for doing jingles. I would do like radio jingles for stations like WBLS 98.7 and CD 101.9, you know, radio stations in New York and New Jersey. So that's how I made my money for the 5 years. My other friends, they just went, like my friend Patrick, he lost everything. He lost everything because he quit his job and told his boss kiss his ass too. David did the same thing. He told his boss, "Kids, yeah, I lost, you know, but I didn't lose as much as the others did." So, like I said, for 5 years, I sat, couldn't do nothing. You know, as I sat, the industry changed. The music industry changed. The standard changed. The sound changed. What they were looking for changed. And then I was what? I was almost 30 years old. And that's old. If you're 30 years or older in the music industry, you're considered like a senior citizen. You're old. That's old. That's too old. Most artists that they're looking for in the music industry are between the ages of 20 and up, or maybe younger, depending on what type of talent you have. If you're young and you have a talent, you got to have a big talent in order for them to take you. If you're under 21, and so you know, the music industry had really passed me by. So I had to make a decision. Was I going to go and get a regular 9 to 5, or was I going to go and still pursue music? Well, I decided that I wasn't going to pursue music anymore as a singer. I had an interest in doing it if I was going to have two brothers up on stage with me, but for me to be a solo artist, never would have thought that. Just never came to mind because I was a shy person. I would have made a whole album, child, and they would be like, "Okay, Jamel, you got to go on tour." I'd be like, "Do what? Go on tour? You mean I got to sing on stage in front of thousands and thousands of people?" Oh no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So I was still shy. But guys, I knew how to play keyboards. I did. I knew how to play keyboards. And I had taken the time in the 5 years that I sat, because I was under contract, I took the time to learn the industry. Like I learned how to maneuver myself in a studio, in a recording studio. I learned sound and stage. I learned how to do sound checks. You know, I was a key grip. You know, I stayed, you know, I had my foot in the industry that whole 5 years. And so I learned so many different things. And so those are the things that took me where I went. I would do engagements like the BET Awards. I would play keyboards in the band or something like that. Or, I would do like award shows and, be in the background doing lighting or stage or, I would go on tour with different artists. I went on tour with Janet Jackson one time. And that was fun. Went on tour with her brother, went on tour with a couple of people, behind the scenes, behind the scenes. Remember that part. Anybody that's ever been to a Janet concert, well, everybody should have seen this by now. There was a part in Janet's show where she would come out and she would be like this dominatrix and she would pull somebody out. She would pull a guy out the audience and she would just like, dance all over him. And then she would end up on top of him and then they would disappear into the stage. Well, see, that was my part. My part was to grab that guy and then the security would grab Janet and they would grab the guy and they would take him and they would walk him up under, back to his seat. And so, I did little stuff like that and got paid like that. I got paid good money. I got paid good money on Janet's tour. Good money. And stayed in beautiful hotels. I also knew how to play other instruments. I could play every instrument except for it's not that I can't play it. I don't play violin. I don't play bass. And I don't play a lot of string instruments. But, because I knew how to play trumpet, trombone, clarinet, saxophone, soprano sax, and stuff like that, I would go on tour with these jazz artists. And one place I went was Egypt. That's my favorite place. Out of all the places I've been, I will never forget Egypt. Ever, 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 ever. But that's what music it took me. Now, like I told you guys, I'm in the process of suing some people. One being Jelly Bean Benitez, another being Joey Malzone and his partner Brent Decker, because for years, and when I tell y'all counted from 1992 up until now, still they're collecting royalties on music that I wrote. And that's another thing I'm going to tell you guys about being in the music industry and in the entertainment industry. A lot of people think that being out on stage, on the mic, and singing and performing is where the money is. And that can be very true. If you should happen to be one of those artists, if you should happen to be an artist like Nicki Minaj or Lil Kim or Jennifer Hudson or, a big artist, a big time artist, then you can stand to make millions of dollars from being on stage, singing. But if you're a mediocre artist that had like a one hit or something like that, okay, you have one hit or something like that, then you may want to think about going into writing because that's where the real money is. See, the artists, the real money, the artists, the writers get that money. Why y'all think Tyler Perry write everything? Tyler Perry writes all his shows simply because he gets all that money. He wrote it. That's where the money is, y'all. Now, for you people out there that write poems and you're into writing like that, I suggest that you pursue a career in writing music. Become a ghostwriter. If you're a good rapper, but you don't think that you have what it takes, you don't have the charisma or the jazz to be a rapper or to be out on stage rapping, then become a ghostwriter. Puff Daddy he ain't no rapper. Puff Daddy don't know how to write no damn rhymes. It's a brother named Conscious that wrote all his stuff. Matter of fact, he used to be on Love and Hip Hop. He's written for y'all don't know. Missy Elliott is a ghostwriter. Missy Elliott is a writer. Next time you buy an album, which is highly unlikely, a lot of us don't even buy albums these days. We go on iTunes and get what we want, and that's it. But the next time you look at an album, look at the writer's credits and see who's written it. Most rappers are ghostwriters or write for different other artists or different rappers. Yeah, that's where the money is. Become a writer. If you have inspirations of being in the music industry, go where the money is. And the money is in writing. If you pen a number one, a hit number one, you got it made. All it takes is for you to pen one good song, one or two. And everybody in the industry, number one, is going to know who you are. So they're going to come to you when they want a hit. And so that's money for you. But even if you write a hit, you got to remember every single time that song plays, wherever it plays, you get a percentage of that, a big percentage of it. As a writer, you get a big percentage. Matter of fact, you get a bigger percentage of it than the actual artist that performs it. That's where the money is, guys. That's where it is. Now, if you're going to be one of those artists that is out in the forefront, you're out on stage and you're performing with the glitz and the glamour, you got to know, honey, like I told y'all the other day, more money, more problems. You got to know that every single time you get up on that stage and perform and doing the thing that you love so much, somebody chipping away at some money of yours. Because all that shit costs money. The stage, the sound, the musicians, the lighting, the tour bus, the everything costs money. You as the artist, you got to pay that. That comes out of your pocket. Come right out of your pocket. So many artists have gone broke. TLC being one of them. Because they didn't know these things. They didn't know these things, guys. Music industry can be very lucrative. It could be a lot of fun. It can make you happy, but it's one thing that can take your world and it can turn it upside down. You can be just as as a pole host with hips, son. You can be rich one day and the next day lose every single dime. Every dime. I've seen it. I've seen it happen to artists. Yes. Well, I think this is going to be a part one. This is the part one of the industry, the entertainment industry. Because tomorrow what we'll do is, I come back on, what's today? Today is Friday. Well, maybe I'll do a special. I'll come on tomorrow. I will. I'll come on tomorrow and we'll do part two of the entertainment industry. And the part that I want to talk to you about is here in these YouTube streets. Now, let me just say this before I go, because I'm getting ready to go, y'all. There's been a lot of shade thrown in these YouTube streets. And let me tell you something. The one thing the Mccree Kings ain't, I don't care. I ain't scared of no shade. If you throw shade at me, I'm going to throw shade back at you. So you people, the ones that was talking about how y'all was so disappointed and y'all was just so, oh my God, when me and Joseph was making those videos last week, continue to be that way. Because listen, I don't care. It would be a great thing in the grand scheme of things for Joseph and I to get a big endorsement from somebody that's watching us here on YouTube. But do I give a damn? No. Because I don't sell myself out for nobody. I'm not coming on here and being fake and phony and saying, hi, how are you? My name is Jamel Mccree, and I'm Jamel Mccree of the Mccree Kings. How is everybody doing? I'm not doing that. Okay? I'm going to be myself. I likes to cuss. Matter of fact, I made a shirt in our boutique, our Mccree Kings boutique. Y'all go over there and take a look at it. Say, I likes to cuss. Because I likes to cuss. It's one of my favorite things to do. I like to use the word motherfucker. I like to use the word bitch. I like to cuss. To me, it's like painting. Cussing somebody out is like painting. It's like painting a picture. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no phony bitch. Fuck them. That's right. I'm not no phony bitch, so I'm not gonna come on here and do no cooking show. And then you add this, and then you add, I'm not doing that. Somebody tried to turn me and my husband into that before, and the people didn't like it. They like us just the way we are. The way we are. They love us. Just when you stop loving us the way we are, then so be it. But trust me, I live a comfortable life. Even though I'm disabled and I'm on a fixed income, I live a great life, a beautiful life. I got people around me that love me. I got a husband that loves me. I got food in my refrigerator. I got a roof over my head in a three-bedroom house. And a car sitting outside an SUV. I live a good life. So me worrying about endorsements and worried about what people gonna think, endorsers and advertisers. There's advertisements in my videos. When y'all watch the replay, y'all see advertisements in my videos. Okay, so I don't sit here and try to put on a facade or be phony in front of people and then be something else off camera. I don't.
Thank you to the 3 that left and the 2 new ones.
That's right. Thank you to the 3 that left and thank you to the 2 new ones that joined us. I don't sit here and try to be phony for an endorsement. I ain't no endorsement hoe. My lips ain't shitty. I don't like shitty lipstick. I don't like brown lipstick. I ain't kissing nobody's ass. So you either like me the way I am or you don't. Because the one thing that you're going to always get from me is the truth. The one thing you will always get from me is realness. I ain't got to do all that other extra bullshit like some other people do. I want to say this person's name so bad because she think that she just is the end all, be all in YouTube and in social media. And she ain't. But I promised myself I wasn't gonna say the bitch name, but she know who I'm talking about. If you getting in your feelings, I'm talking to you. You don't know everything about this industry. You don't know everything about getting endorsements. You don't. So if you think my cursing and my making the videos that I made last week about blogs and fiction is going to hinder me or hurt me, you can continue to do that. But I tell you this. STS Madison. STS Madison. What she think? And see if you and see if she agree with your ass. Because T.S. Madison used dick, pussy, she used all different kind of words. And she got a television show, she got movie deals, she got TV deals, and she's about to go be a member of one of the biggest talk shows on TV right now. So, and we don't hardly cuss as much as T.S. Madison. Every other word that come out of her mouth is a cuss word. And I don't see nothing wrong with it. She gives people what they want. She gives people what they like. People in the chat. Don't people in your regular everyday life, don't they cuss? People in the chat. In your regular everyday life, don't you girls, don't y'all sometimes y'all call each bitch? Girl, what's going on, bitch? So you can spew that bullshit and y'all can make those videos all y'all want to. You don't know what you're talking about. You really don't know what you're talking about. Now, if you want to be that stick up the ass YouTuber or content creator that gets on here and is so nice and oh my God, you want to be that? Then be that. And if you get endorsement deals because of that, by all means, I clap my hands and I take my crown off to you if that's what works for you. But trust me, you ain't got to make no videos about the Mccree Kings because I know all that shit was about us. I know it was. Don't try to come up off the backs of us. I know that shit was all about us. And if you got a problem with it, you know how to contact me. You know who I'm talking to. If you got a problem with it, pick up the phone and contact me on Instagram. I see your messages all day, every day on Instagram. But you ain't the end all be all to YouTube and knowing what gets endorsement deals and what don't get endorsement deals. Okay. And more than welcome to come on this platform anytime if you want to have a discussion about it. No, it ain't gonna be a discussion, it's gonna be a debate. It's gonna be I'm right and you're wrong. All three of you. You don't know nothing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You may know all the rules of YouTube, and you may know all the ins and outs of YouTube because you did all your homework and you studied all that shit. But you don't know what gets endorsement deals, sweetheart. You don't. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Anybody that decides to become a YouTuber or a content creator here on YouTube stands to get an endorsement deal. There was a girl on here, she was getting arrested and she was singing a song, "You are about to lose your job." She getting endorsement deals. It's a bitch that came on here and sprayed Gorilla Glue on her head. And now she got her own hair care line. So don't tell me what gets endorsements and what doesn't get endorsements, and how a person's behavior while they're sitting in front of this camera is what gets them endorsements deal. The one thing that you got to have in order to get an endorsement deal, the main thing that you have to have, which you don't, is personality. That's what you lack. And that's what your little minions that made the video with you lack. They don't have personality. And with that being said, guys, I'm going to end this. Y'all make sure y'all watching us on all social media platforms. Of course, y'all know what those are. I don't need to say them. Do I need to say them, Joseph? Okay. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We have several Facebook pages that you can choose from that are very popular, more than 5,000 members. We had to make a couple because we had more than 5,000 members, and Facebook only allows you to have 5,000 people. Okay, since we doing stuff so wrong. Okay, on Facebook and right here on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, make sure you hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell, the shaded one. Because we throw shade back at the ones that throw shade at us. Hit the shaded button so you'll get all of our notifications, just in case we have to read a bitch every now and then. And that's it. Y'all go over to the Mccree Kings boutique. I got some new merchandise over there. I did a shirt over there it's a shirt over there that says Petty as AF. It says Petty AF. I'm going to show these shirts to y'all tomorrow. I did another one that says, I wish a millionaire would. Yes, that's dedicated to NQ's world. I did a t-shirt that says, I wish a millionaire would. I wish a millionaire would. And I also did another shirt that says, I likes to cuss. Because I likes to cuss. And I know a lot of y'all out there likes to cuss too. So with that being said, guys, I'm getting out of here. I'm going. I'm hungry. I want to give me something to eat. Y'all have a good day and do your greatest work. Dare to be different. And also remember to walk in love. I just thought about something I said, y'all. Y'all walk in love, peace, sunshine, and happiness, and all those great things, beautiful things, and stay positive and make positive videos. And remember, it's Team Mccree all goddamn day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.